Thanks, Sangeeta. Now, have you started the new year on a health kick, vowing to quit cigarettes and cut back on the wine? Well, according to health campaigners, you should be looking a bit more closely at your sugar intake too. They say the sweet stuff is just as dangerous as alcohol and tobacco. And it's not just junk food and fizzy drinks that we need to be wary of. For example, a Yo Valley 0% fat vanilla yoghurt has 5 teaspoons of sugar in it. A portion of Heinz classic tomato soup has 4, and a bottle of glycovitamin water defense also has 4 sugars.
We're calling for a 30% reduction in the next 3 years, which would reduce calorie intake in every adult in the UK by 70 kilocalories, which would more or less halt, according to the Department of Health, the obesity epidemic.
So how worried should we be about all of this? Well, joining me now is Dr. Ranj. Great to see you this evening. Campaigners saying that sugar is as bad for you and as dangerous for you as tobacco. Can that really be true?
Well, I think the message that people are trying to get is not that sugar is bad, but too much sugar is bad. Our bodies need sugar. They're a type of carbohydrate. We use that for energy, and that's important. But the difficulty is that we can have too much of a good thing. And often when added sugar comes into the equation, so a lot of food has extra sugar added into it, which we don't actually need, that's when we go over our limits, and that's when it becomes a problem, and particularly in the long term.
Well, it's very difficult to monitor, isn't it, when you look at some of those examples we've just spoken about? These are hidden sugars. So these are foods that people are probably eating thinking they're eating something healthy, when in fact they're piling loads of sugar into their body.
Exactly, and as you showed, it's extremely difficult to know what foods would contain added sugar or not. It's not just the sweetened drinks and the chocolates and sweets that people might have, but things like soup and cereals, which you wouldn't classically think have added sugar. They do, and it's quite hard to tell from the labelling. But what this campaign is trying to do is trying to get people to, or trying to get manufacturers to reduce the levels of those added sugars for health benefits.
I mean, why are they putting so much in the first place? Is it because the food doesn't actually taste any good without it?
Well, the manufacturers will claim that it's for extra energy. What we do know is that we don't need that extra energy. There's plenty of energy already within the foodstuff itself. What is quite likely to be happening is that they're added for taste, but they have no nutritional value, and in fact, we don't need most of them.
So what can we do to try and avoid some of these hidden sugars?
Well, what we can try and do is have a look closely at labelling when it comes to foods and see if you can work out how much sugar is in there. The difficulty with that is manufacturers will report the total sugar, not the amount of added sugar. The other thing you can try and do is just generally cut your sugar intake down.
Pretty difficult though, isn't it?
It can be tricky.
Stuff.
It's very hard to do quickly, but as is being suggested in this campaign, if we reduce it slowly, we shouldn't notice the difference. And in fact, we can cut it quite significantly and have some good health benefits in the long term. That's in terms of diabetes, in terms of obesity and liver disease. And we will see those benefits if we stick to that recommendation.
OK, all right, Dr. Ranj, many thanks indeed.